Semester Review.
Hello everyone and welcome to Semester Review, the greatest talk show this side of Schwartz's classroom. I'm your host, Talkie Tom, and let's just jump into it. Today's topic of the discussion, The Scarlet Letter, that book that none of you actually read. Here to join me on this discussion today, Discussion-y Dan. So Dan, what do you think of the book, The Scarlet Letter? It's one of the hardest, if not the hardest book to read in the English language. What are your thoughts? Well, Tom, I'm so glad you asked that, as The Scarlet Letter is my favorite book of all time. Being the only book I've read, of course. You're joking, right? Of course not. But I do really love this book. Hester Prynne is such a strong female character and a really great protagonist of this story. She always is holding her head up high, standing strong, even when the whole town is turned against her. It contrasts really nicely with Dimmesdale, who committed the same crime but didn't get punished, and ultimately ends off arguably worse than Hester. Great discussion, Discussion-y Dan. You are an excellent guest here today. I'm so glad you brought up Dimmesdale. I'd like to turn a bit to his relationship with that Dr. Chillingworth. What do you think of it? Was it a demon sent from hell to torture him, or was it simply Chillingworth being a smart man and figuring things out to torture Dimmesdale and get his revenge? Now that Chillingworth is a very interesting character and an example of this book having multiple meanings for the same events that occur. Chillingworth could be an otherworldly demon sent to torture Dimmesdale, which I personally think is the case. It works really well as an explanation. Or he could just be Hester's husband who happened to show back up into town at the right place at the right time and was smart enough to figure out Dimmesdale was the father. Both are solid explanations. It's sort of like when Hester, Pearl, and Dimmesdale are all up on the scaffold that one night and they see the big letter A in the sky. Was the A God acknowledging their sins? Maybe. Or was God not acknowledging their sins and it was just the northern lights? Both are solid explanations. Great discussion, Dan. You really seem to know what you're talking. Hold up, we seem to be getting a call. Hello? You're on the air?
Hello, Talkie Tom. I'm Exposition-y Edward, and I've got one question for this Discussion-y Dan. Want a Sprite Cranberry?
What?
Oh, I'm just kidding. My real question is, what do you think of the theme of this novel?
Thank you, sir. Well, what do you think of the themes of this novel? The theme. A great point of discussion. One of the main ones here that I've seen is that everyone sins and everyone makes mistakes. We shouldn't put each other down for it. We all have a big A on our chest. Some of us may be bigger than others, but it's still there, and we shouldn't hurt others just because it's there. We all sin. Couldn't have said it better myself, Dan. But before you go, I'd like to ask you a few questions about Pearl and what she represents in this novel. What are your opinions of her? Well, that Pearl is a very interesting character. Being born of sin in a Puritan society, she's almost guaranteed to be trouble from the beginning. Which she is, but I think Hawthorne did a great job of showing this through her character. She's the least Puritan here. Thank you so much, Dan. That was very well said. Well, by my fake watch, it looks like that's all the time we have left for today. Thank you so much. Join us next week when we go over... Oh, I seem to be getting another call. Hello? Fired? What do you mean I'm just a high school student? This is just a fake project scenario.
Semester Review.